Hello, welcome to DK Boljat. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm painting the Columbia River Gorge on this little tiny 3 by 4 inch canvas, and I'm going to start it. So I won't finish it, but I'm going to start it. At least I don't think I'll finish it. On the palette there is Liquitex gesso, and then I have Blick Titaniumwhite, also Liquitex Ultramarine Blue, and then Blick Artist Acrylic Burnt Umber. If you've watched previous videos of mine, you know that I like to make my own black, and that requires burnt umber and ultramarine, and I pull between the two colors. I don't use all of them. I might use some of it, use more of it, but right now I'm just gonna pull between them until I get a nice black. And I'll always have reserve on both sides that I can pull from to make that color if it's too brown and if it's too blue. It's funny to think brown and blue make black, but these do. Not every blue makes black. Ultramarine does. And it's kind of a purple blue. It's not, it's a royal blue, right? So it's not like the sky blue that I use. I've got a perfect black here, and I'm gonna mix that with a little bit of white and make some gray. And I typically blend with a brush, but sometimes I use a knife. What are the rules? Well, there are no rules. We'll make up our own rules. This is going to be clouds in the sky. So I'm going to paint this across the top. I need to get, this is the top corner. I'm turning it, so it's not going to seem like the top corner, but it's going to be a beautiful sky. Probably close to sunset, I'm guessing. Maybe sunrise. Let's get you over the side here. I like these little canvases because, you know what, I was going to actually paint gesso first. So let me put some of that on there, because I know that it says they're triple primed or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's put the gesso on and let that dry. I'm just painting that on with the same 20-0 brush. And if it happens to be mixing with this blue, which it's gonna, so be it. It's fine. Doesn't matter. It's acrylic paint, just like the gesso. Okay, and you could always paint over a painting if you wanted to. I don't typically do that because it's too much work. Especially if you have texture, it's too much work. Okay, we're gonna just blend this in with the gesso, just putting that on there. You don't have to make the same mistake I did by putting the gesso, or putting the paint on and then doing the gesso. You can just do the gesso. It'll be fine. Go across the top too. Gotta remember the top. And there will be little clouds on here too that are white with a white edge. I'm gonna put those in later. There, that's good enough. I think it's covered. I think did I get over here? Yeah, I did. It's good. The part I don't really want to have to paint over with the blue is going to be down here because it's got more of a yellow in the image. And I would show you the image, but it's on my computer. So just work with what I'm doing here if you're going to paint with me. I have to paint with today, I have two 20-0. This is a 10-0, and this is a 20-0. Yeah, there we go, 10-0 and 20-0. So the 10-0 is actually bigger, which is surprising, and the 20-0 is smaller. So that's the way it's supposed to be, yeah. Okay, I'm with it now. And this one is a 10-0 as well, in case I need them when I'm doing the clouds. I also have a round. This round is a number 6, and it's a Loyal Cornell. And then we have another round over here. I'm going to use these Blick Master Stroke. And then a very tiny one, but I don't know if I'll even need this one today. We'll see how far I get. Okay, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Going back in the blue, and I'm going to redo this cloud. Am I going to wait for the gesso to dry? I am not. I'm not going to wait. Just going to go right over the top. This should be, it will stick right on there if it's thinner. I don't know if you ever watched Bob Ross, but he explains that if you have a thinner paint, it will stick over a thick paint. I like Bob Ross. He was a good guy. All right, we're going to blend this other side. I'm just going to blend into what's there. I don't have to make it the same color all the way across. There we go. Going back into, well, we want the white. You know, it doesn't matter if I use gesso for the white. It really doesn't matter. Jerry Yarnell does that in his paintings. He's another Channel 10 artist. Well, used to be Channel 10. I don't know where he's at now. Probably on YouTube, I'm guessing. Anyway, he uses dirty water too. I don't use dirty water. I use fresh water out of my it's a Waterwise water distiller, so it makes it very clean. It has nothing that's in the city water. There's an, you know, it just stays in the jar. I have to clean it out later when or the base, it stays in there on the Waterwise, but the clean water comes out and it works great for painting. It doesn't rot the paint won't rot if you go back into it, or if you try to save this to the next day, it will last longer because you're using distilled water instead of city, you know, just water right out of the tap. Okay, so I got that top part done. And it's still trying to dry, and that's fine, it will dry. That's one thing it will succeed at, is drying. I'm just putting more gesso down there, I'm seeing kind of parts that I missed. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more blue, go into that same color that I had. And this is gonna be clouds. Looks like it was maybe raining, and then the sun peeked through later. Well, the sun's gonna be around here, the area that's gonna be lit. These guys are gonna stay up in the clouds. I'm just gonna put in the color of the cloud color, which is more of a dark blue, a gray blue. And that's one of my favorite colors too. I like all blue. Blue's great. Go all the way across. If it doesn't stick, I just have to thin it down. So I'm just gonna go in the water and go into my paint. I took a little bit off on the tablecloth, but I'm just going in the paint now. If it's thin enough, it will stick, no problem. I don't want it to be a puddle on here, so I want to make sure that there's not so much that it's going to be a puddle. I like doing these little 2.5 or 3" by 4" canvases because I can get them done in a couple days. And it's fun. And somebody can have a little piece of nature in their home or office, and they can afford it. Because these guys are, right now, they're $54, or it depends. So they come with a little easel for $54, and then $49 otherwise. Soon enough, I'll have them on my website, but right now I'm just putting them in the store down here in Sherwood, Cedar and Stone, and also in Artistry Northwest in Troutdale, which I love. Both those stores are great gift shops. If you are running around looking for a gift for somebody, you don't know what to buy them, Cedar and Stone's a great one to do because they have everything that you could have possibly thought of to buy for the person. Also, they can help you if you ask, like if you go in and say, I'm looking for this kind of person or whatever, you know, they'll help you. So it's a great little shop here in Sherwood. A gift store. Going back up into the clouds, and then there's a darker cloud as well through the center right in here. We're gonna go ahead and put you in. Still wet from the gesso, but that's not gonna sway me. I'm still gonna put it in. It's fine. Go across here. That's where I've been selling them, so that's where I'll continue selling them, and then I will at some point get them on the website. When I get to the point where I have so many of these I can bring to the store, then I will load them onto the website. Because they would be really easy to ship to you too, if you wanted to buy one. Okay, so So I'm gonna blend that line above that cloud. This is all clouds. There's gonna be white in front of it. You blend that line right above it. And I have a brush holder. I just laid out what I'm going to use today, so you'd be aware of that. Instead of having you know what it is right when I'm using it. Okay. I'm going to blend this down to white. There we go. It was kind of dry there, so I just had to pull a damp brush. It's not wet, so it's a damp brush. There's a difference. The damp brush is perfect for blending it into the background. A wet brush would make a puddle on here. I don't want a puddle. Okay, now we're going to add some white in here. So I've got it around the side as well. Probably blend that out. Hang on. We'll blend that out. And get some white and put in little clouds. So I'm loading this brush in the white. I'm going to pull it flat on the palette. You know, I should mention, I teach classes here in my home studio on Sunday, and I do it right here at my table. I have room right now for 3, but I can put a leaf in the table and have room for a total of 4. That's it. So that's what I do, because then I can paint. Okay, so I've got the white on my brush, like that. And I'm gonna just start going with the corner. The only part that's gonna hit the canvas is a corner. Little circles. Let's bring in those little clouds that are, and I'm gonna flip it over because now it's picked up the color that's on the canvas because it's wet. I'm doing wet on wet. I'm gonna this is acrylic. This is not oil, but it works with acrylic too. We'll put the little white clouds across there, clean that brush off, go back in the white. This is not gesso, this is white, titanium white paint, made by Blick. But I love doing these little paintings. I also love doing YouTube videos. I just really enjoy it. I enjoy the positive comments people give me, and I enjoy setting up the painting with the camera above me, and I just love it. I figure there's people out there that need to relax in today's day and age, and hopefully this will help you relax. A little bit more white on my brush. It certainly helps me relax. I totally enjoy painting. I have since I started. Yeah. For me, it's a matter of working with what's happening. Also, painting is a matter of repairing. Like if I see something that looks funny or whatever, I need to repair it, and I know I can do that. So I'm gonna put this down because it's got white paint on it, and I'm gonna use the round brush. So I introduced this round brush earlier. I just got it wet, I'm wiping it off on the table, and I'm gonna blend underneath these clouds so that there's not a harsh line there. They're not standing above the dark clouds, they're light on the top of the dark clouds. There we go. But yeah, I enjoy the interaction with people that are being positive and encouraging. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to come above the dark. The dark part's there's going to be a little bit of yellow back in here too. So I'm going to put a little bit of white right there for the yellow, giving it a place to go. I could have left it blank there, but I didn't, so I'm going to go over it with white. I need to get rid of that thick line there. I will. And then this here is not going to be bothered at all by that because it's going to be sort of a peachy color. Here, and put that white there to give it a place to put the peachy color. It needs a place to go. If I put yellow over that gray, it's going to make an awful color, and I shouldn't judge that color, should I? So how about I say it's going to make a color that I do not want. There we go. I'm going to blend that. Turn it the other way and blend that bottom line. I don't need any texture in the clouds. Clouds are not hard. That will be yellow later. Okay, so come back in here. What do I have below this? I have yellow, so I'm going to make a nice white line over the top of that edge. And then there's some gray, little light gray, so I'm going to take another fan brush that's dry and go right over the top of both of them, like so, to blend that extra texture that I just had. And same thing with up here, I'm just going to pull over the top. So this should be dry. There we go. Okay, I am ready to continue. There's some gray in here on top of the clouds, so I'm going to grab some of that black that I made, mix it with white, and make some light gray. It's a pretty light gray. There we go. And I want it not to be the same color as the background, so I'm going to go even lighter in value. And I can paint those right over the top of that. They go right, I should do it after the yellow, but I'm going to go ahead and start it anyway. So I'm just coming in here with the corner and going in little circles across the top there. It's on the bottom of the dark cloud. Clean it off. And then I can blend that upper line by putting a little bit more, using the corner of the brush. And going in little circles. There we go. Okay. So I'm ready to put in the yellow. I wouldn't typically put in yellow today, but I'm going to. Just for fun. I don't have it on the palette, but I'm going to get it. I'll move you guys all over here and make sure I have the most of the gray off of my brush. We already have white, don't need white. We're gonna need yellow. This is Cad Yellow. It's Cad Yellow Deep Hue. A little bit of hue, and then we're gonna put my favorite red. It's Quinocridone. There we go, plenty. Don't need much. Then I'm gonna use the small round and make a nice cloud, nice color in the background that's gonna be for the sun coming up. And to make it more peachy, all I have to do is add white. So I'm gonna add a lot of white by adding a little bit of the, just reaching over here and grabbing it. This is the gesso, which you can use that for white, it's fine. It's more pigment in the gesso than there is in regular white. I'm gonna get some more white. Just keep mixing that till it's nice and light, and the sun going down behind clouds is what it is. Okay, we're gonna put this in here. I need to turn it like so and not mess up the top. I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't move. Put this below this. Let me get a little bit more white. I'm coming right below that gray cloud because I don't want the colors to mix. It wouldn't be pretty. Okay, and I don't need it all the way over to the other side. We definitely need to figure out where our light's coming from, and obviously it's coming from over here. So I'm going to put this a little bit lighter, more white. I think I used up all the gesso, but that's okay, we were done with it. And there will be land in front of this. And I got out a little bit of Quinocridone red, but I already mixed it in. I didn't need much. Just to make it sort of peachy. And then I'm going to bring out the light with a little bit of white and just the Cad Yellow Hue. You could use Cad Yellow as well. You don't have to use the hue. I'm using the hue because that's what I have right now. I'm typically not a big fan of hue, but I will do it. There we go. Put in that extra light over here. All right. Rinsing that brush off, so don't let it sit here. The ferrule is the most important part. You want to get all the paint out of where it comes and meets the metal. Otherwise, you're going to have a stiffer brush and it's not going to work as well. I'm rinsing all that out. Okay. I can take a fan brush that's dry, not wet, and go over that. And test it over here. There we go. Wipe it off. Get another one that's dry. Go right over this because there's a little bit of texture. Cleaning that one off. Getting another one that's pretty dry again. Go. Just blending it out, and then I'm going to go over here with a more gray. It's going to be more shadow color. Rinsing this off, so I'm going to go back in the gray, and it's more of a gray, so I got to get black and white together to make a gray. It's not light, it's going to be darker. Grabbing more black in this mixture. Okay, I would say this is at twilight. There we go. That would solve it. It doesn't have to be morning or night. Okay, and then we just need a little bit of this color. We'll go ahead and put that other side in. I'm going to go right over it with white. A little bit of white and gray mixed together. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It will be a perfect backdrop for the land that's going to go in there. And do I have enough gray clouds? I think so. Do I have enough white clouds? I could add a few more on the very tips, very ends. You know, they're going to change, right? Clouds change in a few seconds. So you can decide when to stop. These guys do not have the white tops. These ones up here do. There we are. Going in little circles. It looks like where the light's hitting it. Okay, so I need to take off the underneath part of that. I'll set this over here. I'm just pushing it off with the damp brush. That's pretty good. I think that's good. Okay, so we get to put in the ground, and the ground is mountains. This is Columbia River Gorge, Oregon. It's usually pretty windy when I go there. Okay, so we're going to come in under, right over the top of this. We'll come right over the top. This will be off in the distance. We are not going to see a lot of detail. This is just the round brush, number 6, I think. Little corner. I'm getting some more black on there. Because it's not see-through like this. It's going to be more black. I'm just tapping. I'm just tapping it in. Put in the rest of the land. I'm gonna put the little mountain that's right here, get some more black. The land, there we go. And I don't know if it's more land back here. I'd have to look at another picture. I think it is, but it's going to be a little bit more blue, looks like. This ground comes towards us a little bit, towards the viewer. I'm going to get the side. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to put in another land that's got blue in it. It's ultramarine and a little bit of burnt umber, but mostly it's looking like ultramarine in the color to me. And that's going to go across this way. It looks pretty close to what's there. Go a little bit more blue, less black. Mixed with white. And it goes behind this other mountain. That's pretty close, isn't it? Well, I'm gonna have to go maybe add a little bit more white to it, because it's a little bit lighter. Just a little bit. And we have another land, another little mountain right in front of this. And it's darker, so I'm gonna call that pretty good. I just have to cover up the yellow sky. I can't leave white below it, like this has white. Cleaning out the brush, going for the darker. Brown and blue. And more blue. I'm mixing, sorry, I'm mixing. Let's get that in there. And this one goes right off the, it's a little bit darker. My computer screen's trying to go to sleep. We'll fix that. Okay, you're gonna come right in front of here. And I need to go over on the side as well. I'm going to bring this a little bit of a What would that be, a jetty? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up the definition for jetty, but for now, we'll call it that. I'm gonna paint that on there and then go around the side. Yeah, that's looking pretty much recognizably Columbia River Gorge. Paint it over the side, right over the yellow. The thing I said not to do, but this is a darker blue, so it's fine. And I'm gonna clean off, I rinsed off the brush. I'm gonna blend that edge underneath it so it's not, this is not gonna dry with a line there, because I'm gonna stop for today and come back. It's been a half an hour already. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for hanging out with me while I'm painting. I'm really glad you did. Let me get this side here. Yeah, please recommend my channel. That's DK Boljat. Please recommend it to people that enjoy relaxing and also enjoy art. So I'm gonna make this jetty bring it out into the water. So if I can make it look like water, I'm just gonna pull it out like that. Nice and straight. Should not have any, there we go. Good enough to let it dry. Just didn't want a ripple of texture right there. Put it over the side here. All right, we're gonna call her done for today, and I hope to see you next video. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, I recommend it to people that like to paint. Maybe they don't know how, but they want to try. Yeah, recommend them. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you.